Hi, and welcome to Show Talk with Alex. My name is Alex Byars, and I'm a longtime NPC photographer. A lot of y'all might know me. Y'all see me at shows. I've covered over about 200 shows before, and tell you what, guys, I'm super excited to be doing this. I've been wanting to give back to the competitors and others that are, thinking about competing at a show and what to expect at a bodybuilding show. So this show is called Show Talk with Alex. We will have interviews from former competitors, trainers, coaches, IFBB pros, and NPC judges, IFBB judges, and just, current athletes that are wanting to compete. If you have competed for years or are thinking about competing, you might find some useful information from this show. But like I said, this is going to be a lot of fun. As you can see, we got all of our sponsors down below us. Very excited about it. This is what we call the little showroom right here. So everybody's super excited about it. So I don't know. So anyways, y'all just let me know. We've got a bunch of stuff going on today. But for the NPC Mississippi Championships, okay? So I'm the co-promoter of the NPC Championships along with me and Morris Pruitt, okay? So as you see over here to the left, you'll see our show logo, and you'll see below us our Instagram and social media accounts, okay? So follow us on NPC MS Championships on Instagram and NPC Mississippi Championships, all right? So on Facebook. So anyways, guys, look here. We got a lot of things to discuss today. We're going to be I've got Ron Wedgeworth. He's my good buddy and pal from NPC Alabama, okay? And he's a longtime competitor. He's an NPC judge. He's a national judge. He's also a promoter of 3 shows. So guys, we're going to go ahead and get started on that interview. It was an awesome interview we had just earlier with Ron Wedgeworth. Y'all going to love this with me and him. It was awesome what we did together. Y'all are absolutely going to love it. Just give me 1 second. Hopefully I can figure this out and how we got everything going. All right, guys, here is Ron Wedgeworth. All right, y'all. We're here in the Show Talk room, and we have a very special guest joining us today. He is an NPC national judge, NPC local judge, former Mr. Alabama, and NPC promoter of 3 shows. He's my very good friend, Ron Wedgeworth. Ron, how the heck are you, buddy?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Alex.
Man, you're the first guest on the show of Show Talk with Alex, man. So
I think I should be. I think that's exactly the way it should be.
Who else would it be? I mean, it's Ron freaking Wedgeworth.
Right.
Mr. Alabama of 2000.
That's him. That's him.
I mean, now, let me ask you this about talking about that. You were Mr. Alabama of 2000 now. Do you think it's weird for people that were Mr. Alabama of 98 and 99, and then all of a sudden here you are 2000, little bit of step above, because now it's 2000, total different millennium, year, a whole century different. I don't know. You started it off. Like, so when people look back on the history of bodybuilding 100 years from now, they're going to be like, I wonder who the first guy was. Do you think that elevates you a little bit higher than everybody else in the 90s?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean,
sure. Why not? Hey, I mean, it's just a number.
Mr. A2K, baby.
Love it. Love it. All right, man. So, of course, this show is about what to expect at a bodybuilding show for new competitors and for competitors who've competed before. But we're just trying to get the word out, spread the word out about NPC shows, bodybuilding, what to expect at a show when you come to it, when you arrive to it, especially if you're new. I meet so many folks as a photographer who are new to a show, never been to a show, never competed, and just nervous as heck. Even the audience members who've never been to a show, nervous, don't know what to expect, thinking everybody's big monsters, going to hurt them, going to, just intimidating, everybody's going to be mean, all that. And I had that for my first show back in 2007. I had all those, exact scenarios. I thought everybody was going to be rude, whatever. Completely opposite. I feel like it's been nothing but a family deal. Everybody's friendly. Most folks are friendly. And at the end of the day, it's just a great sport to get in. So that being said, Ron, I got a couple of questions to pick your brain for these newcomers and possible folks who, might just learn something. So we'll start off with some questions, if that's all right, my friend.
Yep. Hit me.
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with question number 1. What was your method of preparation for a show back in the early 2000s, mid 90s, late 90s? what was your preparation then? And then compare that to today's prep, how competitors are prepping for shows now and how you used to prep.
We prepped by starvation. We didn't understand, at least I say we, I mean, I, in the group that I was, with, didn't understand the refeeds. I mean, we started off at 3,000 calories a day, and by the show, we'd be down to 1,400 because we'd go from 2 cups of rice to a cup of rice, and then we never added anything back. So it was just less and less and less. So I think we probably came in, we ushered in the really hard, chiseled look in the 90s and in the early 2000s. But I think that I didn't stop competing until 2007 was the last year. And I still didn't know, obviously, everything then that I do now. But I think that people don't deplete as much now. I think that now most everyone understands the refeeds and doesn't sacrifice as much muscle. I used to diet for 12 weeks and I would routinely drop from about mid 220s down to 175 to make the middleweight class. And I could do that in 12 weeks. And I'm sure I sacrificed muscle doing that. And I just think that science and intelligence and everything else has come farther now. And so pretty much people do it the same way. They incorporate the refeeds now. That's how I tell people to do it anyway.
Yeah, even when I competed, a few times I did. I would only start out. I could drop weight so fast, so I was normally 198, 205 in the off season. I had big burly chest, had some chiseled arms and stuff like that. But
Sure.
I would only do a 8 to 10 week diet, and I could be down to 163 for my lightweight division all day, every day, like it was nothing. And sometimes I'd have to even eat a few extra calories just to keep the weight on. Even then. So obviously, whatever I was doing probably wasn't 100% right. If I was, to gotten a coach, gotten a, trainer, nutritionist or something like that, maybe I could have, wanted to compete in this, sport a little bit longer than I did, other than the 3 years I competed in. Maybe I would have, gained muscle mass and got bigger, then been into the middleweight division, then maybe eventually the heavyweight, and maybe would have won a open overall instead of just, winning my divisions, a few of the shows. So that being said, yeah, man, it's crazy how things have changed, especially now. Talking to competitors, man, some of them they've been telling me about them getting their blood work and all that stuff, and man, that wasn't around when we competed. So tell me a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another thing where medicine has kind of caught up with us. In the early days when I was doing it, I mean, you couldn't, unless you had a doctor that was a buddy, and there were a few doctors around that would discuss things like that with you. They weren't going to prescribe you a bunch of stuff, but they would talk to you. But for the most part, the doctors didn't know. I mean, I got a real good friend of mine who graduated from medical school in like 1980, and he told me the extent of what he learned about steroids in medical school was they're bad, don't take them.
Right.
And that was it. So anyway, obviously things have changed now, and we understand the importance of hormone levels, and so doctors are more open to prescribe, and people are more open to take and understand the benefits of those things now. So yeah, absolutely. You need to get your blood work done. As soon as I get a new client, that's the first thing I tell them to do. If they're having any issues is, hey man, go get your blood work done.
Right. And so, that way you can kind of tell them where to start and what to look out for, what to eat better.
If that's messed up, nothing else is going to work. I mean, I literally had a lady the other day who came in and told me she really didn't have the money to do both. And I told her to go get her blood work done first.
Right.
I mean, I can't fix all these things that you're telling me are wrong with you if you're needing some medicine.
That's smart. Yeah. That's crazy how things come like that. I mean, it makes sense. Like I said, I didn't know a whole lot about it until just here recently. And I was like, man, I guess I didn't get my blood work. Something's wrong with me, but I'm fine. All my blood work came out good, Ron. So, I mean, look at this chiseled body, right? I mean, that's what it's all about, But anyways, going back to the competitors, man, So as a competitor's getting ready, getting trained up, got the blood work, if they want to, do that, if they want to go that route, and then they're getting ready for a show, and then they might ask themselves, I want to do this show. I might want to just do, this show. How many shows would you recommend a competitor do per bodybuilding season, and how many shows should they do, before they do a national show?
I believe that you should compete every year. I mean, if this is something that you're doing and you love it, I mean, there's no point in skipping a year. I mean,
Right.
you can grow just as much when you're competing as when you can't. I mean, I know for me, I probably grew more because, like you were talking about, you dieted for 8 weeks. Well, a lot of times I diet for 16 weeks. So, because I didn't eat good in the off season. I mean, I ate chicken wings and powdered donuts and whatever I wanted to eat. But
Right.
whenever I got started for my contest prep, it was, chicken breast and fish and lean red meat and vegetables that I never ate otherwise. So I think that you should compete every year. And I think that when you compete, that you should do at least 2 shows. Because, it's expensive, to get yourself ready. And then you get a little more bang for your buck. You can do shows a week apart, a couple of weeks apart, a month apart, whatever you want to do. But I think that you should do a couple of shows every year at least. And I believe that you should enjoy them. I love coaches. Coaches are great. They're great for our sport because all these questions that you have, if you can find a coach, they can answer every single one of them for you. And you don't have to worry about anything. They can take you through the whole process. A good coach can.
Right.
And there's some coaches that aren't. And I'm not even going to speak about that, but there's plenty of good coaches out there. If you'll ask around, they're easy to find.
Right coach.
Find your good coach. And I think this though, this really frustrates me when I'm at a show and I'm judging or whatever, and I'm talking to people about doing another show. And the first thing they say is, well, I'll have to ask my coach. Shit, are you kidding me? Does he work for you or do you work for him or her? I mean, you tell them you want to go to the beach and do a show, or you want to go to Jackson, Mississippi and do a show. No, I mean, they can have their advice and their input on it, sure. But I mean, I think we lean on them too much sometimes for things like that. I think that this should be about the competitor and what the competitor wants to do. Right. And if the competitor wants to go to Knoxville, Tennessee to compete there because their uncle lives there, then they should go there and compete in that show. I mean, assuming they have time to get ready for it. So, and I think that, and in saying that, I think that you should enjoy the ride. I mean, the funnest times in my life were at the shows in Alabama and Mississippi. I mean, I could go back and I can relive every detail of when I competed at Chris Cotty's show, in Tunica, Mississippi in 2004. Being backstage, I can tell you who I talked to, who I sat with. And those are the fun times, man. When it's all over with, that's what you're going to remember. I promise. I've been there, done that, man. Started going to shows in 1982.
Wow. Golly. So, that's crazy, man.
When did you start competing? I didn't compete until 98.
No, okay.
But
wow.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started competing?
98, I was 31.
31.
But I had started going to shows when I was like 16 years old. I drove to Dothan, Alabama when I was 18 and watched. They had the Friday night was prejudging. It was a big show back then. Friday night for the Mr. Alabama was prejudging, and they had the Teenage Alabama was Friday night. And so I drove down and watched prejudging and the teenage finals Friday night because I was thinking the next year at 19 I would do the teenage, but I didn't. Wound up being 20 years, 15 years later before I did anything. But
see, that's so.
And I hate that. When I look back on it, I hate that. I wish there had been coaches back then. Somebody who knew something. I had to wait until my workout partner in college was Todd Elder. Right after Todd and I stopped training together, I took a little hiatus for a few years. there was a divorce involved. Then, then Todd won the Alabama. So when I first did my show, Todd and I had started training together again, and he helped me get ready. So, I just didn't have anybody to help. I mean, you didn't, I thought you just did more leg extensions instead of squats and sets of 20 instead of sets of 8. I mean, literally, I would go watch the shows and I had no idea. I just knew I wanted to look like that.
Right.
I just wanted to look like I belonged on that stage. I had no illusions of trying to win, I mean, I just wanted to look like that. And so then when I did a show or two and had a little bit of success, it was fun. And it continued to be fun. But once I got up to the national level, and I mean, first time I went there was 2001. I walked into a room. To weigh in, I was late getting there. The middleweights were already stripped down around the wall. There were 27 other middleweights in there. And me, I'm the last one in there. I strip off my clothes. I'm in my posing trunks looking at everybody down the line. God is my witness. There was one person in that line that I knew I could beat. The other 26, I was like, holy shit.
A little intimidated, huh?
Yes.
But back then, there was a lot of folks in divisions, though. You might have, I mean, there's still a lot of folks.
There was 28 middleweights.
Wow. See, and so like today, nowadays, it's so spread out. You got all these different divisions, you got different categories and stuff like that. And now, back then, of course, we didn't have men's physique. We didn't have classic physique.
It was just bodybuilding. I mean, it was just men's and women's bodybuilding.
That was it.
Period.
No figure, no bikini, none of that. It was just straight boom.
Fitness came around in about 98, I think.
Okay.
And so it was bodybuilding and fitness at my first 2 or 3 shows, and then figure came around in 02, I think.
Okay. Maybe the shows I was at, there wasn't very many figure ladies. I know there was a few bikini and stuff for sure. I guess now that I remember,
bikini didn't come around till almost 2010.
Really?
I mean, it was several years after figure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do remember having some good buddies of mine that really got me involved in the sport and stuff. If I met them at Mississippi State, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had a clue. So that's why I was able to start early. I started when I was 20, and like I said, I competed till I was 23, and it was just a heck of a ride competing. But man, I really enjoy doing the photography side of it. It's a lot. And at times I do want to compete. I want to get my body back right, and I want to do that. But it's just I'm enjoying doing this too. But at the same time, I would love to jump back in. And one day, I promise everybody I will. And it's going to be a good time, and we'll have a great time doing that. But in the meantime, as I was also get prepared for a show, I was, some folks would do diuretics. I was all about natural diuretics. So I would just do a bunch of, I can't remember, it was either asparagus or something. It would just try to suck some of the water out of me a little bit. What would you recommend for diuretics if you're, compete?
Well, I always took diuretics, not over the counter. I was usually, my favorite was Dizide. It was mild, easy to control. And so I usually used that. The last time I ever competed, I dropped 21 pounds in 10 days to make the weight class. And it was a horrible experience. And so you have to be, I say all that to say you have to be careful with the diuretics. If you use them to pull too much water out, you can't recover from it without, getting a IV or something. Right. So you can mess yourself up with them. And now if you're trying to do bodybuilding or classic, or if bodybuilding figure, classic, I don't even say figure, bodybuilding or classic physique or men's physique, possibly women's bodybuilding, you would need the look that the diuretic gives you. But if you're doing bikini or figure or wellness, or you don't need no diuretic, I mean, your body fat needs to be high enough that any diuretic is just going to pull water out of your muscles and make you look saggy. So
Right.
no, most people don't need diuretics. If you need diuretics, you know.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of
They
it.
don't do what most people think they do. People be grabbing stuff on the back, going, "I'm holding a little water," and I go, "No, baby, that's fat."
Yeah. No, that's fat.
That's fat. That ain't water.
We got too many cupcakes over the off season.
Right, there's water in that fat, but
That's fat. We cut it open, there's gonna be some yellow stuff. Anyways. All right, so let's talk about some judging, man. You've been judging for quite a while. Ever since I met you, you've been a judge. I can't remember
20
when we
years. This is
first
my
met.
20th year.
Really? Well,
Mhm.
let's talk about that. So let's talk about judging. Let's talk about some criteria of judging. Let's talk about when you started. Once again, you've been 20 years. So what made you want to start in judging?
Um, it was just the next evolution, man. I mean, anything that I do, I want to. I mean, if I was a fisherman, I'd be on the Bassmaster Trail. I do enjoy fishing, but I just, it just became my passion once I started promoting a show, and then I had an opportunity to do it. Don Bennett was a state chairman, and he asked me if I wanted to judge, and I said yeah, and so here I am.
There you
I
go.
started judging. I've judged almost every show in the state of Alabama for the last 20 years. Um,
That's
and,
crazy,
and
man.
and met people. I mean, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. I mean, develop friendships. I mean, you and I truly are good buddies.
Yeah,
Talk to you almost daily, and friendships like this through bodybuilding. I mean, like-minded people.
I found out in the sport, most of my friends are related of some sort in bodybuilding, or have competed in years past, or or going to compete. Most of my friends in my whole realm, some family members, everybody that I know is kind of involved in it. And then folks in my family have also helped me at shows. You've seen my wife, Ashley. She's helped me at shows before, several shows. Just handing a cord out, recording stuff, whatever. If a guy didn't show up, she was there, and that's it's amazing how the sport is, how I've met so many people through this sport. And actually that's how I met Ashley. I met her at the gym years ago, and I was actually training for Mr. Mississippi, this show right here, back in
Mm-hmm.
when Gordon Ware, of course, ran it for 40 years, and it was in the 07 year. So that was a good time. So but yeah, that's how I met Ashley. I met her at the gym, and then years later we became a couple. So it's amazing how this whole sport kind of brings in friendships and brings in tightens up some folks, even though one might be a Roll Tide and the other one might be a
That's
Hell
right.
State.
You can't help that.
It is what it is. So let's get into some criteria of judging. So if okay, so let's just say we got some wellness ladies here. Okay, I met on Monday night. I was at the Mad Monday for Club 4 Fitness in Starkville, and talking to a girl, and she was interested in the NPC Mississippi Championship show, and just other shows in general. And she's got family in the Orange Beach area, so she was talking to us about how she's looking at competing. And when I was talking to her, she looked like a women's physique. But I'm sure she could easily transfer over to wellness. But she had big old muscles. What was the criteria for wellness, and then just women's physique in general?
Well, wellness, typically we're looking for a symmetrical physique, symmetry. Um, and wellness, not so much. We're wanting larger hips, glutes, and quads with a smaller upper body. So kind of like maybe the legs of a figure girl, but the upper body of a bikini girl. So it's kind of an asymmetrical look that we're looking for in wellness, but that is the exception to everything else.
Exactly. Well, and I also told her, I was like, and first of all, you never know how someone's going to look from 16 weeks out anyway. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she wide shoulders, had a good V taper going on. Her legs were, they were okay, not the best, but I feel like she could probably put some mass on. And we'll see what happens in 4 and 16 weeks. Now, also, so going to bikini and stuff, is there a criteria for bikini? Because some say, hey, the judges want me, to look chiseled, and sometimes they say, hey, no, the judge want me to look soft. What's your take on that with bikini ladies?
Well, so there is a definite criteria, and I encourage everyone to go to npcnewsonline.com, look up the division you're talking about, and look and read the criteria. Read the words for yourself, what they say. They tell you exactly what we're looking for. Now, the issue comes with what we're looking for in bodybuilding is Mr. Olympia. What we're looking for in bikini is Miss Olympia. Now, at the Clash on the Coast in a few weeks, we're not going to have them there. We're going to have varying degrees of people trying to look like that. So, as a judge, we get a bad rap sometimes as, well, they were picking the harder people in that show, or they were picking the softer people in that show. No, we're picking what we got to choose from, and if the ideal is not there, then we have to choose what is the closest to it. And let's be honest, sometimes it ain't nowhere close, even if there's 3 or 4 choices up there, right? I mean, you take pictures, So, right, so sometimes the girl who was clearly too hard for bikini, wins, but it's not because we're picking the harder girls at this show. It's just she was the best of what we had to pick from. So the criteria is the criteria, and it is definite for every division. Read it, know what it is, and then we can have a discussion about it.
So go to NPC News Online.
NPCNewsOnline.com. You can, I don't remember exactly where it's at, but it's under rules. You can look under rules, and it's got criterias, and you can look at it for every single class. Men's physique, classic physique, tells you everything, exactly what we're looking for.
Sweet. Well, man, hey, I tell you what. So speaking of shows, man, we know you've now a promoter of, I believe, 3 shows. Am I correct?
We do have 3 going on now, all down at the beach.
All down at the beach. We got the NPC Clash on the Coast
coming up
in 3 weeks almost, right? 3.5.
3 weeks from Saturday.
Wow. So, and then we also got later on in, what is it, September, we got what is it, Bash at the Beach? I always say
NPC Beach Bash and the Natural Gulf Coast.
The Natural Gulf Coast will be the day after the Beach Bash. Is that correct?
Correct. So the Beach Bash will be Saturday, and the Natural Gulf Coast will be Sunday.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can't beat those shows down there in Orange Beach. I mean, I love them down there. I'm a big fan of a bushwhacker. I'm a big fan of just being by the beach, and I've had some great photo shoots always out there. So I can never beat that. But anyways, real quick, so tell me about the NPC Clash on the Coast, man. So it used to be in Tuscaloosa when it was Clash at the Capstone, and for 20 years it was Clash at the Capstone.
Mm-hmm.
And now we changed it up. We're going down to the beach. We're bringing Roll Tide to the beach.
Yes,
we've got Clash on the Coast, NPC Clash on the Coast. Tell me the dates, man.
April 22nd, 2023.
Awesome. Okay, and so what website can we go to if we're all interested in stuff?
I've got about 18 domains. NPCbeach.com is the easy one to get you there. You can also do the name of the show, all sorts of stuff, but NPCbeach.com gets you to the site that's going to have all 3 beach shows on it. Awesome. We've got Freddie Nadeau coming as our DJ sensation. He does the DJs at the national shows. We've got
beautiful medals I've seen.
The medals are awesome. We've also going to have big statue trophies for all first place winners in addition to the medals. We've got some like those Wolfpack bags to give to the first 50 competitors. Yeah, man, we're going all out. I mean, this is going to be the first year of it. But this is going to grow. I mean, the Beach Bash has been the biggest show in the state for every year we've had it, all 3 years. and I expect this one to catch up with it very quickly. I think it's caught some people off guard that I had a little earlier this year. It's usually been in July, but this is going to grow to be a great show as well. So come on, check us out this year, man. Going to be quite a show. I guarantee you, we're going to have some talented athletes there.
Oh, absolutely. And it always was at the NPC Clash at the capstone, and now, of course, last year y'all had amazing athletes there too. So it's I love it down there. It's going to be a fantastic show. You and Michelle and Morris always put on a fantastic show. Always do awesome. Just treat the competitors just first class. They get a bunch of stuff. Just everybody never complains about it. It's always a good time, at least for my ears. And now going back to that, since I'll be at your show, what do you think about competitors and getting show pictures? Do you think how important is getting your show pictures? I personally think it's the most important thing. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't get your show pictures.
I think it's the second most important thing. I think the most important thing is do as many divisions as you can while you're at the show, and then order all the pictures and videos.
And see, I'm not trying to be biased, but I really do. At least when I competed, it helped me out. You know, I was able to see how my hamstrings looked, see how my chest looked. You can see the growth over the years, and of course, I follow a lot of people on social media. I see them all sharing pictures from their growth from last year to this year on stage, and it's really how you look on stage at the end of the day. It really is all this preparation just to on stage day of. I mean, and trust me, I keep pictures for people for 2 years, so I truly enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun. I've covered over 220 shows now. It's absolute blessing that I've done this. There's Michelle Wedgeworth. What are you doing?
I'm in the background.
Michelle's going to be the MC at the NPC Mississippi Championships, so y'all look out for that.
I'll be there.
Love it. All right, real quick, Ron, my Zoom is telling me I've got a few minutes. I didn't pay for the premium package, so we're gonna rush it real fast. Okay, it's some quick questions. We're gonna try to do one-word answers, if that's okay, my friend.
Hit me.
All right, so it's cheat meal time. What are you having after a show?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings, my man. All right, you like them bone in, bone out?
What?
You like boneless?
Do they serve the bone out to men? Can you get those where they serve men?
Look, hey, look, I'm a drumstick guy myself. I order the drumsticks. I'm a drumstick guy. Anyways, okay. So how important is a coach? Should you need a coach or trainer? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. How often should one train legs per week during prep? Should you do two times a week, 3 times a week, 1 time a week? Let me know.
One bomb.
Just one big old leg day preparing for.
Yeah. Okay. At least. I mean, and then I would do cardio, Stairmaster. I always did a lot of Stairmaster stuff as well, but one leg workout a week, was good for me.
Love it. All right. Who wins in a fight? An ostrich or 30 baby alligators? Mid-sized baby alligators.
I'm going with the baby alligators, man. I mean, numbers, power in numbers.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like if you got that ostrich and it's in like a cage and you got all those 30 baby alligators in there, I don't know, man. He's going to trample some of them. I don't know. That's a tough one.
But they're also going to eat his feet off.
That's true. Yeah, eventually he's going to fall. Going to get all infected. All right, so cupcake or brownie? What you choosing?
Cupcake. Scrape the icing off.
Mm-hmm. I'm a brownie guy myself. Is a lion really the king of the jungle, or is there another alpha animal that you think of that could possibly whip a lion?
Unless you got those skull walker things from King Kong, I'm going lion.
I'm going grizzly bear, man. I think grizzly bear got him. I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting. I mean, you said jungle though.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. It's supposed to be, anyway, whatever. Animal Kingdom. Anyways, whatever. Okay, so here we go. So next, who are you going to cheer for in a game? When you're watching it, you're at your house. Mississippi State and Ole Miss are playing. Who you going for?
I've never disliked either of those teams. Okay. I'll say that, but and it's not just because Alabama's always owned them, but Mississippi State. I mean, I've always liked Mississippi State, especially after Croom was over there. Crew's dad was my teacher in middle school.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, Reverend Sylvester Croom Sr.
Wow. When did Croom play? Croom played. Is that why his dad was there? Because Croom played there, or were they just from that area?
No, they were. Yeah, no, they're from Holt. I mean, I went to Holt High School. His dad was from. He grew up in Holt, Alabama.
Wow, I never knew that. I know.
Yeah.
I knew. You know, he played there. It was center and dang good center too.
Yeah. Well, Croom actually went to Tuscaloosa High School, but his family lived over in Holt.
Wow.
It was still during segregation back then, and so things were different. But yeah, no, he went out to the university on a scholarship, obviously, and then made quite a name for himself.
Yeah, he did. There's a lot of famous folks around the Tuscaloosa area. I mean, another one is John Cohen. You know, I mean, he's well known in Mississippi State now. Auburn's AD, so it's crazy how things are. But anyway, so now we just saw Michelle, and this is the last question. How much taller is Michelle than you?
Okay, we know officially because she had been saying she was 5'10" for a number of years. But Steve Payne checked both of us last year. Seems as though I've shrunk. I'm no longer, I don't think I was ever 5'7", even though I claimed that for a while. I'm down to about 5'5.5" now, and she is 5'8.5".
Wow. Wow. Is that barefoot?
Yes.
Wow. Unbelievable.
That was on like the height checker thing at the show.
Right. I'm gonna have to get him to check mine because now I'm worried because me and you kind of look eye to eye sometimes. And I thought I was pushing 5'8".
No, you ain't 5'8", brother.
Oh man, I've been telling everybody for years I was 5'8". Oh, that's okay. Well, all right, Ron. Well, man, that's it, man. The Zoom's telling me we're about to wrap this thing up, man. If that's all right with you. Well, man, Ron, we're excited that you came on, man. It was a blast. Like I said, just remind the audience a little bit real quick about the NPC Clash on the Coast. Where can they go? What can they do?
We can go to npcbeach.com. You can go to all of our social media stuff, npcclashonthecoast.com, NPC Clash on the Coast on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
It all goes to one website.
Have a great show. What?
It all goes to one website, right?
It all goes to one website, yeah. It's all tied in together.
Well, man, we're excited for you. We're 3.5 weeks out. This Saturday will be 3 weeks out. So, y'all, we're excited. Come check them out. And what's the date again?
April 22nd.
Boom. I'll be there. It'll be the week after my birthday. So I'm excited about it. You're going to have me a birthday present there, Ron.
We will do that.
All right, Ron. Well, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you having on for the first episode of Show Talk with Alex, man. This is going to be hopefully a every weekly thing. We're going to get everybody going here. And everybody just check out the sponsors down below. Follow us on my Instagrams and stuff. And we got Ron going on over here. And be sure to check Ron out on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, and all the shows he's part of, man. Well, we hope y'all had fun. Hope y'all
Hang on. Uh-oh. My audio was off. Sorry about that. Okay, guys, thank y'all so much. Ron Wedgeworth, he did an awesome job. I'm super excited, super pumped for him. We're going to have the NPC Clash on the Coast, April 22nd, 2023. Y'all go check him out on his website, www.npcclashonthecoast.com. Guys, it's going to be a fantastic time. We cannot wait. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the first episode of Show Talk with Alex. We had a few technical difficulties, but we'll get through them on possibly show 2. Anyways, guys, y'all check out all the sponsors below right here. We got folks doing everything. We got folks from Manned Up. We got folks selling houses. We got folks with gyms. Y'all please go check out the gyms. Go check out everything. We love our sponsors. Guys, please check out Ron Wedgeworth. Awesome guy. Go down at the very bottom here. You'll see his website down below, and you'll see all the show info. Guys, we cannot wait till our show. for our show, NPC Mississippi Championships. It's going to be on July 22nd. We got about 16 weeks out, so got quite a little while. So if you're thinking about joining in the show, you got plenty of time. Have you a cupcake or two, then hit it hard on Saturday, okay? Because we still 16 weeks out. Anyways, long story short, guys, look, we're super pumped about this show, super excited to do good things. We'll see what happens with this show, and maybe we'll just keep growing. We'll show talk with Alex, all right? We'll see y'all next Thursday, 8 p.m. Y'all don't forget it. We'll see y'all soon, and if y'all need anything, y'all just give me a holler, okay? All right, we'll see y'all later. Bye.